So the last piece of stuff that the Hasbro Pulse Fan First Friday thing gave us was a little bit of Q&A and updates on what's going to be happening in the coming weeks. The first thing they talked about was the Back to the Future crossover. It seems that we're going to be getting more information, possibly finally images and reveals next week. They want to continue doing this Fan First Friday thing as much as possible. I think this is something that will exist because of the absence of San Diego Comic-Con and the dialogue not being present between the companies and the fandoms. The second thing that they talked about was they're going to be actually talking more about Studio Series and the future of that brand later this year. Again, probably teasing at what's happening with that rumored Transformers the movie 1986 addition to the Studio Series line and other stuff related to it. And then they fielded some questions, and two of them really caught my eye that I want to talk about. The first one was they asked, is there going to be any chance of Japanese exclusive Generation 1 product finding its way into the reissue market today, like rare Japanese G1 product, much like the Dino cassettes were? And for people who aren't familiar, the Generation 1 Headmaster Dino cassettes from Japan were extremely rare, extremely limited. You know, the secondary market for those, let's not even talk about it back in the day. And then they got reissued out of the wazoo thanks to Hasbro and Hasbro Pulse, and as a result, you know, evened out that market and gave people an opportunity to get those unique molds that normally would have been absolutely difficult to get if it wasn't a bootleg. Now, they said yes, that they are actually interested in doing stuff like that, and their plans to talk more about it later this year. What that is, we don't know. My own speculation, who knows what that could be? Could it be Minerva? Could it be maybe we're going to finally get Artfire, because we already got Stepper. Artfire was the white Inferno repaint as opposed to Stepper. That was the Black Jazz repaint that did see a reissue here in America as Ricochet. Who knows? Who knows how they're going to want to go about that? I hope they didn't misinterpret the question and think of it as just Japanese exclusive stuff overall. And they knew that they were pretty much the question being asked was related to Generation 1 exclusive Japanese product. But that would be cool. That would be cool. Would something like, let's say, Guard City or Die Atlas make sense in this day and age for that market? I don't know, but there's a lot of weird stuff. Look, again, if the Dino cassettes happened, it could kind of be anything at this point. I mean, as long as they have the right narrative for it. The Dino cassettes kind of worked because it was a supplemental initially with the Bumblebee retro 80s tape cassette San Diego Comic-Con thing. It kind of fit with it. But as a standalone product, while they have been able to pull that off with the Hasbro Pulse 3-pack, it's going to be kind of weird, how they're going to frame some of these. Like Minerva, I don't know. I don't know how they would frame Minerva to be able to be reissued. I mean, we just recently got the Transformer mangas by Viz that had Minerva in it. Is that one way to give an excuse for it? Who knows? But that's something that we'll definitely cross that bridge when the time comes. The second question that they got asked was, someone asked, is there a chance that, much like how the Decepticon clones got kind of a second chance release in America, is there a chance for the Autobot clones to get that too? Now, what they're referring to is because originally the Decepticon clones, how they were given was you got one from a Walgreens 2-pack, you got the other one from a big box set. They were expensive to get. Fast forward to the past 2 years, the Decepticon Clones 2-pack, they took the colors that were originally done for America, they took the Legends colors, which were the Japanese release of those 2-packs, they released it in a 2-pack here, and the rest was history. Same thing also with the Autobot clones. You were only able to get one from the Walgreens 2-pack, and then you were able to get one from a big box set, and that was the only way you were able to get your Autobot clones. While in Japan, I believe it was LG58, the Autobot clones, they had their own slightly exclusive repaint, and they were released as a normal 2-pack there, originally for, I believe it was 3,000 yen, which is about $35 to $40 today, depending on exchange. So is there a possibility of having Autobot clones released? And they said, well, we like to always companion our Autobots to Decepticons, so there's a very strong chance that the Autobot clones will get a 2-pack release in the future to match your Decepticon clones. The next question then I would ask then is, are they going to do like what they did before? Since the Decepticon 2-pack that they did was based off of the Legends colors to make it a unique release separate from those individual releases that we got before, are we going to get the Legends version of the Autobots ones? And what is really the difference between the two? Well, this is a difference that some people might not like. The Legends version, the American version of the Autobot clones were primarily red, and they were based very much so off of their original toy counterparts, which also sported a pretty big, red tinge to it. And when you look at the Rebirth cartoon, where the Autobot clones had their only American cartoon appearance, they also kind of had that red color scheme. The Legends versions, which were the Japanese versions of them, were based more off of the coloration, how they appeared in the Headmaster's cartoon, which had a pink kind of tinge to it. There still is red on it, but pink really was the primary color of the chest and everything. So they went more with that animation accurate from how it looked in the Headmaster's cartoon. So the thing is that you're going to be getting Autobot clones if they're based off of the Legends color scheme, which will have more of a pink hue based off of how they looked in the Headmaster's cartoon. So keep that in mind, that if they do this 2-pack, and they do want to do something different than the individual release from the box set and the other 2-pack from Walgreens, it's probably going to be that pink color scheme. I could be wrong. They might just go completely left field and do another, just primary red and just stick with that because they don't want to do pink. But that's something to keep in mind. I'll post some images to kind of show what the differences look like just so you could get an idea. But that's something to think about too. So yeah, that's more or less it from the Fan First Friday or whatever. And all of that stuff that they showed us, it's quite a bit of a dump of news that I have for you guys that, again, you're going to get 4 segments today easily. Maybe another one before the day is done because we still have some more breaking news coming up. Maybe it'll be an evening post or a Saturday post. I haven't decided yet. It has to do with some other Transformer licensing material that has been announced, and I have some information to discuss and show with you guys. But definitely stay tuned. We're going to give you more information because Transformer Slag will be here to give you the educated and logical conclusion to what's going on in our hobby.